Так, окей. Вадим тоже будет стримить? Чё? Блин, а какие форму поменять? Девочки, как ей менять форму? Я не понимаю. Я дурашка, как ей менять форму? Так, окей. Блин, надеюсь, все так легко работало. Я ничего не понимаю. Как ее геймплей? Ее геймплей в Элизиуме это что? Это как это работает? А, надо не зажимать, а просто тыкнуть? Блин, ребят, если все так легко сразу решалось.
Бля, у меня все сейчас идут Baldur's Gate, кто у меня в стиме в друзьях. Просто массово. То что ли пойти?
Что-то мне кажется, форма с оленем как-то побольше бьет. Блин, я тут зафейлился, да. Трэш, а как играть сейчас? Надо почитать. Чего у нее делают эти? Install Shaper, Full Combo, Physical Damage, Install Shaper. Так, а Soul Shaper это какая форма у нас?
Да, пока стрим не начали, сижу, смотрю стрим
Быстрее, тяжело,
мелкого.
девочки. Ага, Soul Shaper это который с оленем. Аригато. Все, я теперь понял, почему олень больно бьет.
Блять, у мелкого онлайн сейчас больше, чем у меня. У меня онлайн 21
Так,
человек
всё, погнали.
сейчас. Мне пишут, у меня
Блин,
21
балла канала
человек, а
Даша
у
сказал,
мелкого
когда будет
32.
компаньонка. А я не знаю, когда там компаньонка. А, вот так надо, все, я понял. Во, все, я понял, как это работает.
У меня 92. А, во, вижу, обновилась.
Девки, я понял, как это работает.
А то мне
Всё, я
писало,
готов
что у меня
тащить.
27. Я такая сижу, блин. Мистер Ебатор. Реально ужас. Чё ты
Господи,
смеешься?
спасибо, что есть люди, которые шарят за ханкай. Так, давайте оленя призовем. Потому что, ну, олень это важно.
Блин, я сегодня, короче, ну не сегодня, вчера перед сном всю ночь думала про Tangle Tower. Так мне прям зацепила игра. Так мне понравилось. Вот вроде бы, ну ничего такого особенного, да? Ну, конечно, все очень красиво. Но вот прям меня так зацепило, не иронично. Мистер Ебатор, да я понимаю, все хорошо. Ой, тут можно посмотреть концепт-арты. Она нигири. Ну. Блин, очень красиво, здорово, что они прям расписали про каждую вещь в галерее, потом можно будет посмотреть. Прям здорово сделано. Какие ставки на убийцу, честно, вот даже сейчас не могу предположить. Давайте поговорим с Фитцем, потому что у нас там подозрение на него было.
So, Fitz, I have a report that you were seen sneaking up Pointer Tower, holding a knife.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. I don't own a knife. And I don't sneak. Was it Fifi who told you this?
How did you know that?
A guess. She doesn't like me very
Мы
much.
фото не следили, вообще мы
Yeah,
можем
she
это
was
сделать?
mistaken.
Мы это
Maybe
спросим у
she wasn't
Поппи.
wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
Fifi did see Fitz, but he was holding something else.
So, if it wasn't a knife, what was it?
Может, совок?
What about this?
Ah, that.
Is it yours?
It was a gift. It's sentimental. I have no reason to take it up Pointer Tower. I don't use it at all.
По какой причине Фитц пошел совком башни Пойнтеров? Разукрашенный совок, единственное...
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in Poppy's room.
Ой, не Поппи
Almost.
комната. Господи, Пенелопы же ее зовут.
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in the garden. Almost. Maybe. An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to cut a potted flower in the greenhouse. Nope. An
А,
ornate
Пенни,
trowel
господи,
is
ее же
used by
сокращенно
Fitz to
Пенни
look
зовут.
after
Я что,
a
сижу,
potted
туплю?
flower in Penny's room.
That flower.
Yes.
I've never seen it before.
We need a clue to compare to that flower. Something that proves its connection to Fitz.
Так, что может связывать Фитца? Вот эта штука.
Let's take a closer look at these.
По горшки похоже, по идее.
The pot and soil in Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's greenhouse.
Жесть, такая умная.
Let me guess. Penny's flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence.
Блин, с чатом мне поздоровался. Привет, Дан, злой художник. И Ирис Резита. Ой, Ник, здорово. Боб Кинсан, Котомонстр, Чаруши, Мистер Ебатор, Свети. Кто там? Нагита-Сас, Косянчик, Кириешечка, Кадажик. Ой, привет, привет, привет. Мистер Ебатор. И Байтс тут тоже, да. Блин, привет, ребята. У нас сегодня элитный чат, потому что не все оценят эту игру. Но вот мы оценили. Жесть, еле здоровается, жесть. Ну, у меня настроение хорошее. Привет, Ляна. Привет, хамстер. Только, пожалуйста, резида, хорошо. Гостатаку!
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
It took me a long time to breed. I wanted the colors to be exactly right.
That's some gift.
Turns out Penny isn't particularly interested in looking after plants. So I go into her room every now and again when she's not there. Water the flower, change the soil. Just trying to keep it alive. It's Fifi and Freya.
Don't you think Poppy should be in the photo too?
Maybe, maybe not. She doesn't really like crowds.
2 people isn't a crowd.
Right, but if she was in the photo, then it'd be 3.
Checkmate.
I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside
А
the
где
earth or
тарелка
whatever.
пельмешей?
You can't make it.
Она же у нас
Called
главная
alchemy.
фанатка.
It was a whole thing.
Так, ладно, мы можем еще сейчас сходить. Давайте мы спросим у Поппи. Во-первых, хочу показать эту
This is a
фотку.
photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
Yeah,
How come you're not in it? You're friends with them too, aren't you?
I'm not really one for photographs.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable. Hey, that's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rose bush.
Is there something wrong with that?
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
О, привет, Чикарита. Чикарита! Мне показалось. Нет, Чикарита тут. Привет. Расскажи чату, на что ты потратил свои
Привет,
деньги?
тарелочка. Как у тебя дела? Мяу.
Привет, русский нагит. Отлично. Спасибо за донат. А у тебя как?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing when she was painting.
Привет. Как хорошо, что продолжаем эту игру. Очень интересно узнать, что здесь происходит.
Соглы, чертенок Резискорович, соглы. Спасибо большое за донат.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors.
Ну, сейчас мы и докажем. Вот Поппи.
Let's take a closer look at this. The pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player that was found in Freya's room. Almost. Maybe just... The pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player found at the crime scene. Almost.
Блин, чё я не то поменяла?
The message on the tape is an older version of the pink cassette player found at the crime scene. Nope. message on the tape. That's not right. The pink cassette... Almost. The pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
Жи, сейчас мы раскроем тайну Поппи, что раньше она была
That
фанаткой
is not
Барби.
me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it. You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up? And then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward. Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
The reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
Они больше не друзья?
Passage
В
of
этом?
time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
There's something about that diary we found in something.
Let's ask her about it.
Так. Идем к Пенелопе. Нет, давайте к Пенелопе попозже. Вдруг появится тарелка пельмешей, и мы как раз пойдем к Пенелопе в этот момент. Сейчас мы можем ей что-нибудь показать интересного?
A diary. Have you read it?
Not yet. It's locked.
And you haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating. This little microscope thing, you said you used it to search the greenhouse.
And this would make perfect sense, if you knew what my client had asked me to find. Of course, I still have no intention of disclosing that information.
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw. Don't worry, we already worked out what you're searching for.
А чё Хокшоу ищет? Жука, да?
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So, that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse? This beetle?
Surely even you can
Не,
understand
мне
the
нравится, тут все
logic
в
of it.
целом идет логично, то есть понятно, что куда тыкать.
The greenhouse is home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact she didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse. It's not a microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
The handheld microscope, according to Hawkshaw, uses a fake glass. Nope. The handheld. Almost. Maybe. The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens. So Hawkshaw lied about it.
Жесть, я такая умная.
I'm inclined to believe Fifi when it comes to stuff like this.
Hawkshaw, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did
Ой,
you
пошла
aspire to
драма.
become?
Пошла драма, девочки.
A detective? Naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy?
I wanted to be an astronomer.
Really?
I harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the and so
Ой.
I became a detective. But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's the deal with
Как
the little
чат
telescope?
приветствовался уже 20 минут.
My childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider it something of a planetary alignment. I had hoped he might sign my telescope. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your suspect?
Things have become complicated. My lead suspect
Freya.
is your murder victim. Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it?
I have several theories, but they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them.
Так,
Is
доебемся.
this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
You seriously require an explanation. Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10
So, there are secrets written here?
and... This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
It's Fifi's diary, and she has written in it.
I'm not sure about that.
Me neither.
This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
It's not a diary at all.
А,
I'm not
блядь,
sure
это не ее
about that.
дневник.
Me neither.
Это, скорее всего, дневник
This
Фрея.
particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
It's somebody else's diary.
How could you arrive at that conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary. Something to prove who the original owner was. Let's take a closer look at this. This blue book is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room, and you kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these things?
Fifi didn't want anyone to see personal secrets within Freya's diary.
Is this true, Fifi?
I know Freya was your friend, but if you're trying to hide something...
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing, in her own way. By concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention to preserve her innocence.
Ну,
Innocence?
Фифи вообще
Might be
бусинка
easier if
такая.
you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I have ever known.
Alright, Fifi unlocked the diary.
Finally. What's in there?
Оно вернулось, на этот раз воплоти. Это я его выпустила. Может, мне стоит разорвать ту картину на куски? Душенос сработал, удивительная штучка. Теперь у меня их 2. Нужно еще 2. Пробралась в центр, удивительно просто по сравнению с Арфой. Я их видела, всех 5, с вычеркнутыми глазами. Несмотря на все, я должна сохранить свое обещание. Я сделаю все, что смогу. Ей пойдет на пользу общения.
There is a drawing of me, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw, and a drawing of Poppy and Fitz.
Ну-ка, надо сходить, всем показать их рисунки.
Fitz, one of these drawings is of you in the rooftop garden, I think, with Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Are we done?
Мне не нравится обсуждать эту тему, мы поняли.
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I didn't model for her, if that's what you're asking. She must have done it without my permission.
Could just be from memory. It's not quite as detailed as the others anyway.
Так, и Поппи давайте покажем. Потом сходит к Пенелопе, и она охуеет от этого рисунка. А, это мы показывали ей. Я забыла.
Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes.
Как она прям ее бесит, эта хуйня.
Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted. So... yeah, we found this.
Oh, that's nothing.
You wrote, "Now I'll get her," on a piece of paper and hid it in your room. That's not nothing.
А вы тоже всегда на бумажке записываете, что вы хотите кому-то дать пиздов?
Actually, it's not the message I wanted to ask about. It's those red flower petals.
The petals.
They're from red roses. And there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red roses.
We need a clue. Something that shows the roses. And who they belong to. It's a drawing of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
О, здорово, Димасик.
I can't imagine what you're getting at. But it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
Is it really only accessible from those two bedrooms?
For most people, it would be. But don't forget, Penny's the resident
И
on a
чё, она
farm.
умеет летать или что?
My dears, what are you accusing me of?
Одна из птиц Пенни шпионила для Пенни.
Pointer's No. One of Penny's... That's not right. One of Penny's birds was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz and steal...
Серьезно,
presents from them.
птица?
We know those two have been spending time together in the rooftop garden. I'm guessing you got paranoid. Want to know what
Запараноились.
they were up to.
I'm just not the jealous type. I would never suspect Fitz of anything like that. Besides, Tabitha hardly ever leaves her cage. She's certainly never flown up to the rooftop garden.
Пиздёж.
We need a clue to compare with Penny's birds. Something to prove one of them has been in the rooftop garden. Let's take a closer look at these. This yellow feather was left behind by Penny's yellow bird when it visited the rooftop garden.
Попалась.
I can't stand knowing the two of them are hidden away up there in their private little garden. I couldn't risk spying on them myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me. I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
Sorry, Penny, but are you not overreacting a little?
You don't understand. Fitz is slipping away from me. He's so quiet with me these days. But being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell. I don't know what he sees in her miserable little... I apologize. This really isn't your burden to bear.
Ну, я ее kinda понимаю. Мне вот интересно, мы можем что-нибудь показать Флоре, чтобы она охуела?
Flora, you are definitely...
Ну,
Can you
тут
tell
она
me...
молчит, понятно.
I don't know. Maybe she
How
really...
is that possible?
Тоже молчит.
Did you ask Freya to paint this? Or was it her idea?
What is that some people have been saying?
There's something about the image of Flora in the painting. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it. That's all the statements.
Let's go over them all. That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the Moonlight Garden most of the afternoon. Then I heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering.
Потом Фитц выбил дверь, она спустилась вниз. По-моему, Феликс что-то пиздел.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored
Как
it.
прикольно оформлено, да?
Began shouting
Очень
at me.
классно.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
Пока что все вроде совпадает, да.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
Надо сходить к Феликсу. Нужно поговорить со Флорой. Нужно обыскать обсерваторию. Нужно обыскать сады. Нужно поговорить с Фифи. Я не все нашла в обсерватории.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmo. It's also daytime. Pretty.
Every astronomy
I
tell?
want to try.
А, вот, телескоп мы не смотрели.
You can see right into Flora's room.
Not by accident.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. She's looking up. Behind her is the backside of the easel holding Freya's unfinished painting. I can't really see anything behind it. Not from this angle. I can just about see the gramophone.
Is that a window?
I think it is.
Is there another room above Flora's room?
We should check that next time we're over there.
Интересно.
I can see the doorway. It leads into the hall. The door itself is on the floor, knocked off its hinges.
It's that little plant Flora keeps on the window ledge.
Don't you think it would fall off? In the wind?
Maybe it's glued down.
Isn't this supposed to be an astronomy telescope? I'm pretty sure you need to see the sky for astronomy to work.
Ну,
I
конечно,
can't move it.
профессор Персиваль
this is just
подглядывает, да?
There's something about Pointer's astronomy habits. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
So, Professor, what interests you about astronomy exactly?
It's not a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify
Короче,
them.
Фрейю убили прям под прямым углом, ей всадили нож в грудь. Причем она стояла практически вплотную к картине. Вот что интересно. То есть, ну, как будто ее убила, ну, картина.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
I have a theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested in a slightly different field of research.
That's not it.
А чем он тогда интересуется?
That's not it. That's not it.
Видимо, я пока не знаю, чем он пока интересуется, возможно.
That's not it. That's not it.
Да, мы походу не знаем, чем он интересуется сейчас. Походу, инфы у нас нету, девочки. Жуки. А, да, реально. Я думала, это как-то относится...
My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that.
Так, сейчас, секундочку, девочки, мне ВК написали. Сейчас проверю кое-что. Сейчас кое-что проверю, и я к вам вернусь. Все, извините.
Pointer's telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's a very precious specimen, incredibly rare, valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around, both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
Ну давай.
I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
А не пиздит ли он?
You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This
О, привет,
changes your
Ганганчик.
statement, doesn't it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Maybe we should go back and check. And we...
Топ-топ-топ-топ-топ-топ-топ-топ-топ-топ. Как они топтали, жесть.
This wasn't here before.
Да.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab.
There's a note stuck to the back.
What does it say? Grimoire?
Это мой новый друг, ему нравится музыка. Его растрогают простые мелодии. Удачи вам, Фрея!
What do you think? Is it really from
Что
her?
происходит?
How can it be?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well?
It's a perfect match.
Well, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
Let's keep this to ourselves for now.
Меня убивает рисование референсов. Если вы считаете, что картина не может убить, перестаньте так думать.
Мы так и думаем, Ник, все нормально. Картины действительно убивают. Это пока что самая сильная теория.
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
О, мы закончили первую половину? Неоконченное дело.
I'm still not sure about this thing.
Should we take another look?
Let's come back later.
А сколько всего глав в игре? Так, нам надо поговорить с Фифи. Уже опускать сады. Вот этот сад мы обыскали же.
That must be Tangle Tower.
Ой.
I believe Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it.
Спасибо большое, Бодечка,
As
за
such, I
донат.
cannot ascertain
Спасибо.
any meaning from it whatsoever. This photograph is my favorite photograph.
Oh.
So, why'd you rip it in half?
That was not me. Besides, it was not a half that was ripped off. It was only a third.
Давайте все Фифи все покажем вообще.
What is your opinion of Tangle Tower?
Oh, it's impressive. Elaborate gardens, unique architecture.
Must be worth a fortune.
Why do you ask, Fifi?
I am the heir of the Fellow family and the Remington family. This makes me the sole beneficiary of Tangle Tower.
Смотри, Альбинка, 206 это сколько собирается на 4-й стрим. Это то, что на 4-й стрим уже собралось 206 рублей. Типа остаток.
That's quite an inheritance.
Это значит, означает, что уже собрали 21 тысячу на 7-ю финалку, которая в Crisis Core, и еще 206 рублей.
They can't make you do anything, Fifi. If you don't want the house, just tell them. Or just sell it. Who cares?
You sound like her.
Как Фрея, понятно.
I require facts. What do you know?
Well, we know Freya was stabbed with a knife, and then she fell...
Correction. She was stabbed with something. There was no knife found.
Фифи вообще богатая невеста.
Apart from the one in the painting.
Which, as a mere
На месте
abstract
фрица я бы к ней
representation, does not
подкатывала.
count. Nobody has ever been stabbed by the concept of a knife. That belongs to my mother. I think she must be fond of eggs. There are a number of egg-shaped carvings to be found in the garden and in the Grand Hall.
Yeah, what's the deal with all the eggs?
Some people just like eggs. The gramophone belongs to Poppy, but I believe she gave it to my mother, and my mother often loaned it to Freya. Or maybe it is the other way around.
When did it get cracked?
I cannot pinpoint it exactly. All I know is that it must have happened sometime in the last 2 days.
Fifi, did you test the red paint in this pot?
Yes, I did. I discovered it too was blood, not paint.
A whole pot full of blood?
Not a whole pot. It is only partially full.
Yeah, but still. Doesn't that freak you out?
Да, это очень странно звучало, что она любила
In fact,
яйца.
it may be considered rather reassuring.
Интересно, любила ли она яйца Феликса?
It is a model of
Извините.
Freya, made by my father.
A model of Flora, you mean?
And a man with a beard. And a little red and white creature.
Why would my father make a model of Freya? That blade.
It's a troll for gardening.
It is. Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be? An item from Poppy's childhood. Her earliest piano lessons hold some special significance for her.
Why's that?
No idea. She has never graced me with the details, and I am not forthcoming enough to ask.
You two are friends, right?
We are, yes.
But...
It is clear to me now that Poppy has become tired of my company.
Is it anything to do with Freya?
Oh, no. The changes in Poppy's mood have nothing to do with Freya. Her concerns simply lie elsewhere.
Так, мне стало интересно попалить, кто какого типа личности. Поппи посредник, Гримуар полемист, Фрея борец, она мелкий. Ну, Фиона, естественно, Фифи ученый. Ну, кто еще, блядь, она могла бы быть? Естественно. Фиц ИСТП. Профессор Персиваль тоже полемист. Пенелопа ЕСФП. Флора ИСТЖ. Салли ИСТП. Фокшоу ЕСТЖ. И Феликс борец. Класс, я
There's
Поппи.
something about Felix's painting supplies. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about it. I used it to paint, obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
Кстати, напоминаю, я на MBTI все еще ЕНТП. Я все еще полемист.
It's not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine. I even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots. End of discussion.
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint. Something to prove who it actually belongs to.
Что-то, что можно прямую сравнить с банкой краски, кисточки.
That almost makes sense, but it's not right. That's not right. That, but it's not right. That's not right. That's not right. Let's take a closer
А,
look
блядь,
at
краски
this.
Фрей, господи, еще одни. Ёлки-палки, как я туплю, простите.
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
That red paint is from Freya's supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
Ну, как тебе сказать?
Felix had been emptied of all... Nope.
Что не так с банкой с красной краской Фрей? Там кровь.
This red paint pot was somehow filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
Oh, that's definitely something. Right, fine. Here's the story.
Ой, бутылки, банки.
A project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know, perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint. I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got blood in it, if that's what you're asking.
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of red paint anyway?
I was trying to finish this in time for Flora's birthday. I needed red to paint the final details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If you managed to finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Well, I decided against it in the end. After what happened, seemed a bit insensitive.
Giant stone. Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
Так, это мы находили.
Giant, except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
Здесь же мы все смотрели, по идее. Бля, я не могу ей показать эту штуку.
It's one of those.
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
Oh, whatever.
Well, it is. Gotta
What's
practice.
with all the broken glass?
Тебе же там иконка с лупой на комнате Флоры. Да, но я не знаю, что с ней делать. Я не знаю, что... А, ой, подождите, у нас еще там есть комната, елки-палки. Сейчас я попробую ее доебать.
You haven't seen this yet, have you?
It's a little model of you. Who were the other people next to you?
Чердак. О, сейчас будут головоломки.
Just dusty junk.
Сейчас будет головоломковая.
It's a statue of a wolf, standing up straight, like a man.
You know there's a name for that.
I know.
It's not quite as dusty as everything else up here. Also, it's not a statue. It's stuffed.
What is that?
Теория про оборотней и вампиры все
Not
еще
sure.
рабочая?
Some kind of reel?
Looks like it might attach to something.
Менная катушка с винтом наверху. На катушку намотана красная проволока.
It's a jar. The head screws off.
Huh.
At least the moths are kept well fed. Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry, is this spooky attic boring you?
Kinda. What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe I won't open it.
Someone painted out the window.
Do you think it was done recently?
No idea. Either way, it's pretty suspicious.
Just dusty junk. Just dusty junk.
Where's that light
That's
coming?
just daylight, I think. There's a decent gap between those floorboards. Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? Just dusty junk. Sally, you don't...
No. Do you?
Let me put it this way.
Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry.
Kinda. Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry.
Kinda. Do you know what this is?
Guess not.
У главного входа... А, у главного входа была слышна мелодия. Подождите, что у нас главный вход? Нет, вот это главный вход, да?
It's one of those big
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
Ой, не туда иду, не туда иду.
The attic's directly above us, right?
Yeah. What?
Wind chimes. Silent. Wooden wind chimes.
It's a little boat. It's the only...
What a comforting thought.
It's just not like...
Too late.
Oh, whatever.
Well, it's gotta
What's
practice.
with all the broken glass? Who plays the...
So I'm guessing nobody.
Who plays the...
So I'm guessing nobody.
Are they...
Whatever they like, a little parade of What else would it be? Smells like
Oh, whatever.
Well, it is. Gotta
What's
practice.
with all the broken glass?
Да, блядь. Что-то здесь должно издавать музыку.
Sheet music,
That's a lot.
probably while they're on the floor.
It's a globe.
For globing.
What else would it be? They're bird cages.
the bird- that a
Oh,
mouse?
it totally is.
Ну, попросить Поппи сыграть. Точняк, ее же можешь попросить сыграть.
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure.
О, привет, тарелка
It's
пельмешей.
literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
Так, и чё? А. Краб отреагировал.
A little pond.
It looks, see those metal,
Oh, yeah.
nothing. Looks like somebody broke them and then
Trees.
in a garden.
In a garden.
Туда иду.
I'm still...
Should we take another look?
То есть... Пианино, птица, колокольчик и губы.
Let's come back later.
Губы. То есть кто-то должен спеть, видимо. Как ее заставить спеть? Мне сказали, что в башне Флоры была слышна песня.
We already solved it. I don't know if you can call the sudden absence of wall.
Может, птицы споют? Не, мне кажется, это именно вот человек должен спеть. Может, ей все показать? Давайте, да, ей все покажем вообще, что только есть.
Flora, this is your egg?
Подожди, Ганга.
Why do you keep it locked?
Is there supposed to be something in there? Or is it always empty? Is this your gramophone?
Do you know why it's cracked?
What do you think of your husband's hobby?
Ей
Do
похую.
you have any hobbies?
Do you recognize any of these feathers?
Do you know anything about these birds? Or birds in general? Do you know anything about this beetle? Have you seen this book before? Do you know who it belongs to?
I really thought she was gonna say something there.
This is a photo. Were you close with? How are you two related? Did you kill Freya?
Grimoire.
What?
Oh,
We met Felix. He's one of us.
So, nice try.
Она ничего не говорит. Как же ей было похуй.
This is
Do the
some...
plants all look a little... Should we take another look?
Так, колокольчик. Губы. Пианино. Птицы.
Let's come back later.
Нужно обыскать сады. Но это они мне намекают вот эту головоломку открыть. Блять.
I've never been one for...
Ладно, Ганган, давай подсказывай.
Why not ask Poppy instead?
Я сдаюсь. Я пусть, я
Now
устала.
this is still in very good condition. Apart from the crack, of course.
What about those shards on the inside of the horn?
Looks like somebody broke a glass and was trying to conceal the evidence. Cunning.
Мне нужен граммофон. Так я ж вроде ставила туда. Мне надо целиком, что ли, мелодию опять прослушать?
It's piano music.
Мы в курсе, что it's piano music.
Эх, побольше бы таких персонажей, как Флора в Геншине. Видно, серьезная женщина. Говорит только по делу. А если что-то не нравится, просто токсично молчит. Но
Вот,
капельки
да.
пока лучшие персонажи Геншина. Бульк.
Таких, как Флора, нам реально не хватает.
It's
He's playing
He's
a...
also...
Well, they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
Так, значит, мне нужно найти еще одну кассету.
Ah, I wonder how it's hooked up.
Giants,
Yeah,
except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
Мут токсично молчать. Да, я обожаю токсично молчать. Так, где мы можем найти вторую кассету? Ёб твою дивизию. Нам нужна кассета с секретом.
It's a little
It's
bit.
not a comforting.
Давай, Ганган, где кассета? Почему мне, конечно, он может быть в комнате Поппи? Поппи. А там же, где статуя с арфой. Блять, надо было все-таки обыскать этот сад. Я думала, то, что говорят обыскать, он другое намекают. Видится и не будет.
I think it's an egg.
One animal,
Hawk.
right? A hawk bear lizard. A bench of...
My favorite kind. Spooky. What do you think?
I think it's
Is it
just-
working?
No.
Spooky. What do you think? Is it working?
No. And it's full of the
Any
same...
fish in there?
Not a soul.
It's a cassette. Or it
О,
used
все,
to be.
нашли. Вот эта кассета жуткая.
That's all for me.
So, what?
Should we go back to the
Мы
garden?
можем доебать насчет этой кассеты вас? Нет, как же Флоре было похуй. Как же ей было поебать. Кристаллически похую.
Let's try this again.
You know, I think we might be...
Ой, блядь, надо запомнить, что куда...
I'm
это
sure
самое.
we can solve this now.
Сейчас я сфоткаю краба.
Let's try this again.
Так, нет, по идее все стоит правильно. Дверной звонок, мурлыканье, пианино, пение птиц.
Nothing.
В секции колонн можно поворачивать.
That's got...
Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait, do you hear that?
Так, мы что-то сделали. А, о.
Are we gonna go in?
Yeah, but there's a couple of things I want to do first.
Собрать все улики, завершить подозрения для всех подозреваемых, поговорить с Салли место
This is
преступления.
The plants all look a little...
Мгм. Нужно поговорить со Флорой, ебаной. Блядь, Флора, какая ты ебучка. О чем с тобой разговаривать, нахуй?
We spoke to your daughter, Fifi. She's some kind of super intelligent scientist. You must be proud of her. We spoke to Hawkshaw. I assume she didn't get anything out of you either. I bet that really ticked her off.
Do you and Fitz have anything to do with each other? Other than your initials?
Флора молчит на
So,
подозрение.
this painting. Specifically that
А,
knife
блядь, надо
in
было...
Flora's
Ой, какая я
hand.
тупая.
It's creepy. But we didn't find a knife anywhere in the room. So what's going on?
The knife is still in this room.
Wait, I'm confused.
Me too.
So what's going on?
It's not a knife. We need a clue to compare with the painting. Something to explain what that knife shape actually is.
We'll get to that in a minute. That's not it. That's not it. That kinda makes sense. That kinda makes sense. That's not it. That kinda
Нет,
makes
не
sense.
совок. Но это выглядит как перо.
That's not it. That kinda makes sense.
Let's take a closer look at this.
А, вот перо.
The painted knife. Almost. Maybe just... The painted knife is actually just a feather from an ink dip bird.
Ну давай, скажи что-нибудь, Флора!
But the book's not in color. The thing Flora's holding in the painting is red and white, specifically. Is there anything to suggest that the ink dip bird is red and white too? This little thing? I don't understand why Felix would make a model of this bird as part of a gift for Flora. And come to think of it, why would Flora be holding a feather in the painting anyway?
The ink dip bird was Flora's pet, so she kept a single feather to remember it by.
She kept the bird as a pet. And it died?
А не, она улетела, наверное.
Maybe it flew away.
Flora spends all her time staring out the window.
Either way, she kept the feather. I think it was pretty important to her.
Alright, so she was holding the feather while Freya was painting her. But where is it now? You'd think she'd keep it somewhere close by.
Yeah, I think she does.
В яйце, небось.
This is where Flora usually keeps her feather.
But we opened it. It's empty.
Mm-hmm. Completely empty. Flora? She's pointing at something in the corner of the room.
It's just a pile of books. They're not... Wait, there's something tucked inside this one.
Рисунки, на которых нарисована Флора с небольшой птицей. На обратной стороне сделана от руки надпись «Это тебе, с любовью, Фрея».
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
Нет, мы туда не можем пока.
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
Чё-то тебе с картиной нихуя непонятно.
Paint from the paint pot was used to... Nope. Blood from the paint pot, almost. Maybe just... Blood from the... That's not right. Blood from the... That's not right either. Blood from the... That's not right either. Blood from the... Almost. Maybe... Blood from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything.
Моя
It might not even be important.
Актриса озвучки Флоры увидела объем текста, который ей придется озвучить, и сбежала. В итоге у нас получился агрессивно молчащий персонаж.
Ну, на данный момент самая реалистичная теория. Спасибо, Ник, за донат.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what and more interested in the how.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with the painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her
кстати,
falling
логично,
over are
да.
completely unrelated.
Видимо, нож упал с чердака.
Are we done?
For now, it's about time we found out what's beneath the garden. Where do you think it goes?
Down.
Под землей.
This place would never pass a fire safety inspection.
Rows of plants, growing in wide wooden boxes.
What color is the soil?
It looks black, but it's too dark to tell.
Is it locked?
Seems likely, doesn't it? Weird looking safe.
I'm pretty sure the latches can slide into the middle.
Блять. Ой, как же в жопу ебал эти головоломки, блядь. Ну, ой, это пиздец. Из этого нужно сделать лабиринт, сказали. Так, ну это понятно. Как из этого сделать лабиринт? Ты ёкаломаная. Не обязательно полностью вытягивать. А, да? Нужно провести белую полоску от ключика до замочка. А, блядь, да, логично, слушайте. Ну, это, по идее, единственное, что подходит. Нет, это не так, по идее. Бля, тяжело. Это что-то вообще надо слишком сильно думать. Ну вот у нас, по идее, вот так правильно собираются полоски же, да? По идее. Либо можно вот так еще собрать. Вот так еще можно, по идее, собрать. Может быть, так оставить. И тогда мы можем сделать вот так. Наверное, блядь. Если вот так. Так, уже получается лучше. По идее, тогда, наверное, блядь, или нет. Так.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Hey, not bad. Anything inside?
Yeah, more research.
О, жуки. Наша уникальная флора и фауна является побочным продуктом ряда еще недисциплинарных химикатов. Эти химикаты присутствуют в воде, формируют облака и наполняют озеро, что в свою очередь вызывает ряд мутаций в растениях и животных. Больше всего это влияет на маленьких существ, таких как пауки, насекомые, моллюски, амфибии и ракообразные. Однако эти химикаты могут продвигаться и вверх по цепи питания и вызывать мутации в птицах и рептилиях. Насколько нам известно, они не действуют на млекопитающих.
A candle, perched on a barrel.
Very medieval.
I was thinking pirates.
Medieval pirates. Bugs. Big ones.
Looks like they're made of metal. Chemistry apparatus. What's in there? It's a little diagram of a beetle, with some incomprehensible notes scribbled next to it.
That's weird.
What?
It looks really normal compared to the beetles behind the glass.
Какие красивые жуки, слушайте.
9 beetles. All different, all dead.
Poor little guys.
There's a bunch of notes written all around them. It's mostly numbers. No idea what they mean. 9 beetles.
Poor little
I
guy.
guess it's mostly numbers.
Whose research is this?
Может быть, Фрей?
Forensic Entomology, Volume 3.
That's an incredibly specific area of study.
Forensic Entomology.
That's an incredibly...
Is that a lab coat?
Warning, hand wash only. Size, small. It looks like they're being boiled, but the liquid is ice cold. A cracked glass tank with 9 little rooms. Each one has 1 or 2 insects inside. I can't tell if they're still alive.
I like that you called them rooms.
Hand-drawn entomology charts. It looks like the liquid is ice. A cracked glass...
I like that you called them rooms.
It's so dark. I can barely tell what I'm looking at.
Реально выглядит как лаборатория Гонды. Соглашусь.
It's a hatch.
But we're already in the basement.
Depends on your perspective.
Let's not go down just yet. We still haven't explored this room properly.
What a mess.
Any idea what this is all about?
А это мы уже видели.
Reminds me of the chart from the library.
The one from the chalkboard.
Yeah. Is that a periodic table?
No, but it does kind of look like one.
What are those symbols?
They're alchemic symbols, mostly based on the planets, the sun, the moon, stuff like that.
Huh. This looks like it was drawn in a hurry.
Didn't we see those same symbols in the greenhouse?
A candle, perched on a barrel.
Very medieval.
I was thinking pirates.
Medieval pirates.
It's so dark. I can barely tell what I'm looking at.
This is some seriously in-depth research.
It's impressive, but it's incomplete. There's a section missing.
Блин, здесь так интересно.
This is Pointer's secret
Ничего не
lab.
понятно.
Definitely seems like he's the one using it.
I guess not a lot of people know about the secret entrance.
Right. But if Pointer's the only one who comes down here, why would he need to lock his research in a safe? Who's he hiding it from?
He's just paranoid, especially about his golden beetle.
What do you think he's trying to do exactly?
Девочки, секунду, я свет включу, темно в комнате. Не хочу умереть от ужаса. Ой.
Pointer, almost. Maybe just... Pointer has been trying to breed the golden beetle in the underground laboratory.
Why? Because it's rare?
Because it's gold?
Is that it?
I think so. I don't think he cares about entomology any more than he cares about astronomy. He just wants to get one over on Felix. If he can breed his own gold, suddenly Poppy's inheritance is looking pretty...
Infinite. Might explain why he was so worried about losing the beetle. Maybe somebody did steal it.
Might have been Freya after all. We know she was trying to get through the secret door in the garden.
She might not have known what was down here, though. Maybe she was just curious.
Curious, sure, but not naive. I reckon she knew what was going on.
I think we're still missing the bigger picture. There's no way this is all just about a beetle. We're done.
Ready to go down? Again?
Господи, да сколько здесь этажей! Самый низкий уровень. Ну, пыточная.
Gives off kind of a dungeon vibe.
What do people actually use chains for?
Nothing good.
Basements don't normally have windows?
We're at the bottom of the lake. We must be.
Right. But if that's the lake bed, why does it look like that?
Like what?
White, smooth, no plants, no anything. That's not what a lake looks like.
Where are we? There's a roll of paper up there.
I'll see if I can reach it.
Let me guess. Blank.
Мистидный особняк.
Study. Wait.
Мы
I know
там
what you're
не
thinking.
были.
And no, we never went in there.
How did we miss it?
Это раньше был
Storage.
склад.
It's Freya's room.
И потом они сделали особняк выше, они достроили еще комнаты.
That's the lake, right? I think that horizontal line might be the water level.
It used to be a lot lower down than it is now.
So, the whole house is built on top of some kind of platform.
Apparently. It's the room above us. The one we were just in.
The laboratory?
Yeah.
That's the room we're in now. It must be. It's not labeled as anything on these plans, though.
I think it already existed when this was made.
It's the aviary. Misted Mansion. North side cross-section. Is it not Tangle Tower?
Tangle Tower. Before the towers?
Music room. So,
Apparently.
That's the lake, right?
It used to be a lot lower.
That's the lake,
It
right?
used to be a lot lower. The library. The Grand Hall.
What's that thing in the middle?
I think it's that big glass tube.
The rooftop garden. That name makes a little more sense in this context.
This seems pretty significant.
Agreed. A single book on a little makeshift table.
This is
Не, мы
creeping
не
me
были
out
в
slightly.
кабинете.
Why?
I think it's a children's book.
Водно-небесные Местиды. Детская книжка с картинками, на вид очень старая. Чернильник. Элегантная птица с красно-белым оперением. Сереброзмей. Водная рептилия с длинным языком, не имеющая глаз. Душенос. Краб с 3 клешнями разного размера. Амфобия. Похожа на лягушку, существо на 2 ногах.
Old cardboard boxes.
How exciting.
Oh, but there's more. They're also damp and empty.
We're too late. This photograph has been stabbed.
Why? By what?
Not sure. Some kind of metal stabbing thingy.
Металлический стержень. Заканчивается загнутым острым наконечником, похожим на стрелу или стрелку часов. В другом конце находится небольшая петля, через которую продета короткая красная проволока. Металл чистый, отполирован. А вот, походу, орудие убийства.
So what's the photo?
Фотография рамки при этом слегка влажная. В фотографии изображена маленькая девочка. Рядом с ней сидит высокий мужчина. Они окружены красно-белыми птицами. Фотографию прогнули металлическим предметом, в груди мужчины образовалась дырка.
Do you know who it is in the photo?
Флора, очевидно.
Do these puddles worry you?
Why?
That's lake water, but it's indoors.
Ah, I see your point. This room looks old. Like, old.
It makes the rest of the house seem relatively modern.
This room looks like...
It makes the rest of the house. A bunch of picture frames, but it's too dark to see the pictures.
It's not too dark. The frames are all empty.
It's an empty bookcase.
Something tells me it's been empty for a long time.
Old
How
clothes are
so?
also empty. It's an old coat rack. Looks thoroughly neglected.
2 cloaks. And a green hat draped on top for good measure.
Did you notice how much light this room has? For a room with 1 candle?
It's all coming through the window.
Вода светится.
I'm pretty sure lakes are supposed to be darker at the bottom, not lighter.
Why is there a room down
Это
here
же отец
anyway?
Флоры на стороне нагулял ребенка, от которого родилась Фрея. Блин, а я не помню. Вроде да.
And why is it so much older than the rest of Tangle Tower?
We still don't really know why people came to live here in the first place.
Maybe they just wanted to get rich, like Pointer with his beetles.
I feel like the Remingtons came here for the lake, for what was in it.
It's empty though. More empty than a normal lake would be.
It is now, yeah. Maybe we're too late.
This man in the photo, he reminds me of something from one of our clues.
Что-то, на чем изображен мужчина с фотографии.
That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right.
Да. Что-то, на чем изображен мужчина с фотографии.
Felix made a little model of him for Flora.
Yeah, makes sense when you know who he is. Lord Fellow.
Really?
Wait, no, hang on.
Felix made a little model of him for Flora.
Yeah, makes sense when you know who he is. Lord Remington.
Remington. That makes him Flora's father. Meaning the girl in the photo is...
Yeah.
А то не очевидно, что это Флора.
I never would have guessed.
А вообще не изменилась.
Sure do change.
I don't know. I don't think she looks so different.
Let's head back up to the Grand Hall. I want to find that last room.
Большой зал.
Wow, it's dark all of a sudden.
How long were we down there?
Блин, очень хочется сходить... А там никого нету, да?
Let's not wander off right now.
Вон.
This must be it. This thing goes all the way up.
How are we supposed to get up there?
Hang on, it's pitch black. But I think there's a switch.
Ну, лесенка.
A ladder.
Wanna go up?
Конечно, хочу. Какие еще вопросы могут быть? Скрытое сердце. Вау.
Is that a crab?
It's got a translucent exoskeleton.
Also, crabs normally have 2 claws, right? Not 3? Good. You sure we should be touching it?
Grimoire, don't you think it looks familiar?
Угу. Можно его клешнику ярить. А, еще их... Ёлки, мать, еще можно двигать.
This crab really reminds...
That little wooden toy we found?
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to help us. I think I've seen it more recently.
Может, это вот этот краб? Либо вот тут еще есть фотография краба. Давайте вот эту сначала попробуем. Крабовая.
Also, crabs.
Так, как он будет на этой фотке? Это мы открываем.
Perfect.
Perfect. Ой.
What's this?
Something somebody didn't want us to find.
Арбалет. Его смотреть никак нельзя. Ага, катушка и стрела, понятно.
What is it?
Dragon?
Snake?
Worm?
That's the one.
Some kind of fish and a bird skull, I guess?
If that's a bird skull, we're talking about a 15-foot bird here.
Well, how about we stop talking about it? You know, in any normal room, this thing would be my main concern. In here, though, it barely makes the top 3. Who are all the people in this photo?
Not sure, but it looks like someone didn't like them very much. Their eyes have all been crossed out.
Фотографии прочно деревянные рамки, покрыты пылью, где так сделал несколько лет назад. На медной табличке в нижней отирающей рамке написано «Послы меститного особняка». На фотографии изображены 2 женщины и 3 мужчины, одеты в одежды разных стилей. Лица всех 5 людей жирно замазаны черными чернилами. Вот это я почти уверена, что это мать Поппи. Это выглядит вообще как предок. Вот это, возможно, отец. Это, видимо, те типы, которые ливнули из дома. Да, вот это похож на брата Феликса. Это похож на отца Фица. Это как-то относится к Фифи. Возможно, это сестра Флоры. А это, видимо... А это я не понимаю, кто.
That photo is important. I'm sure of it.
Centipede? Millipede? How many legs has it got?
Too many. Those aren't bird cages.
Some of them are disconcertingly large.
At least they're all empty.
You sure that's a good thing?
There's water coming through the ceiling.
I think we're underneath the rooftop garden. It's a wooden pinboard, hung up on one of the chains.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
Так, на нем рисованы 4 линии, начинающиеся с дырки в центре. На листке поменьше под ним рисунок, который изображена фигура в плаще. Это как будто... Это... Как ее, господи? Хокшоу.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it. A staircase up to a little mezzanine.
Whoever designed this room really wanted to make the most of a relatively small space.
Так живешь в доме и не знаешь, что там вот такой пиздец.
Nice chair.
It's still warm.
Maybe it's just heat from the incinerator.
Maybe. Crumpled up paper.
Is there anything written on any of it?
Not really. It's mostly blank.
An axe and some kind of hunting rifle.
Honestly, doesn't look like they've been moved in a few years.
I'm more worried about the third one.
The third one?
The one that isn't there. Nice rug.
Coffee table, half-empty wine bottle, lamp left on. I'm gonna say someone's been using this room.
Someone complacent enough to leave their notebook lying around.
Несколько страниц было вырвано, некоторые остались. Наконец-то найден 5-й посол. Не могу сказать, что у меня были какие-то надежды. И все же разочарование было не избежать, ничем не отличается от остальных. Мой месяц прошел испытание в музыкальной комнате. Очень хорошо, даже слишком. Лаборатория тоже меня разочаровала. Столько усилий, чего ради. Он такой недальновидный, даже менее, чем ожидалось. Удалось побывать внизу, красиво. Там успели убраться, мне удалось найти то, что нужно. Она попала туда, она была осторожна, ничего не сдвинулась с места. Но я знаю, пора. Кто это может быть, интересно? Вот будет сейчас мем, если это Фиц.
An incinerator built into the wall. It's still pretty hot.
Is there anything left inside?
It's mostly ashes, but yeah, there's something.
Перо. До сих пор видны лоскутки красного цвета. Черные пуговицы.
Someone's been using this room. That's a bookcase. It's mostly empty.
What a surprise.
They called this room a study?
What would you call it?
The secret death chamber of doom.
Блин, если бы я когда-нибудь была неприлично богатой, я бы обязательно сделала похожую тайную комнату в своем доме.
Hooks. Big hooks.
I don't get it. This room is in the original building plans for the mansion, but nowadays it's some big secret?
It's not a secret to everybody. At least one other person still knows about this room.
The way the notebook was left out on the table makes me think it's someone who has the room all to themselves.
Whoever it was, they left more than just the notebook. There's a whole design project on this pinboard. Feels like someone put quite a bit of effort into it.
It's a shame there are things missing from it. I'm betting it'd make more sense if we could see it all together.
That might not be impossible, you know.
You know? Сейчас, секундочку. Извините, пожалуйста. Надо кое с чем разобраться. Музон кайфовый вообще, прям приятно послушать.
That
We
doesn't.
need something that could attack. I think that, but not this part of the picture.
Интересно, интересно, девки пляшут.
The painting from Freya's room and those sketches. Did Freya design Detective Hawkshaw's clothes? What kind of sense does that make?
I don't think that's why Freya made that painting, but it may have been why somebody took a photo of it to use as reference. And as for those sketches of Hawkshaw, I don't think Freya actually drew them. It was somebody else, someone with less of a talent for art.
Doesn't exactly narrow it down. Should we go ask Detective Hawkshaw about all this?
I'm not sure. I still don't know what's really going on.
Another photograph.
Their faces are all crossed out with some kind of black ink.
That's weird.
Oh, you think so?
Я только хотела это
Something
сказать.
I just realized. Sally, did we meet any of these people here at Tangle Tower?
Well, the woman on the left looks a little like Poppy, but her style is way different.
Значит,
And
это
at first I
Примроуз.
thought the guy on the top right was Felix, but
Брат.
now that I look at it, I don't think it is him.
Was someone trying to hide it? From us?
I don't know, but it looks incomplete to me. I want to know what happened to the rest of it. Where are the other parts?
We found them already. I think that might, but not this part.
А, не сюда.
I think that, but not this part.
Блядь, дайте мне отсюда выйти. Я не поняла, куда я нажала.
We need something that could
Я не туда нажала, пожалуйста, дайте выйти.
I think that, but not this part.
Спасибо, чат, а то я что-то реально совсем запуталась.
What do you make of it?
Not sure. Let's keep an open mind.
You don't think the crossbow is the murder weapon?
Oh no, the crossbow is definitely
Хокшоу,
the murder
видимо,
weapon.
дочь
But
кого-то
that
из
doesn't
послов,
mean we
что-то
solved the
такое.
mystery.
Убийство. Наконец-то мы подошли к самой сути.
Time to solve this.
All right, break out the notebook. Time to put it all together.
Let's start with this. It's an arrow for the crossbow, and it matches Freya's wound. It's the murder weapon. I'm sure of it.
Despite the fact it doesn't have any blood on it, and it wasn't found anywhere near the crime scene.
Mm-hmm. It was cleaned, then it was hidden. I don't think anybody expected us to get down to that room at the bottom of the lake.
Okay, so Freya was shot by a crossbow. Where was it fired from?
It was fired from above Freya.
Above, huh?
Yeah, our diagram doesn't show everything. Let's add in the rest of the crime scene.
The attic.
Perfect hiding place. We even found a part of the murder weapon up there. The reel was used to pull the arrow back up through the crack in the floorboards.
Explains why we never found a weapon at the crime scene, I guess.
The murderer must have dropped the reel in the attic. I'm guessing they were in a hurry to escape.
Wait. The arrow was fired through the crack in the floorboards?
Yeah, it's directly above where Freya was found lying on her back.
Nope. Doesn't add up. It would have missed her if she was still standing up by the painting.
Ah, right.
Unless... Freya was already lying on her back before the arrow was fired.
I think so too. She'd fallen unconscious.
Something in the room caused Freya to fall unconscious.
The gramophone.
Right.
But the gramophone by itself can't do that.
Граммофон источал ядовитый газ?
The gramophone emits poison gas.
What?
Let's try that again.
But the gramophone by itself can't do that.
There is something in the gramophone.
Mm-hmm. Something small.
Что могло быть спрятано в граммофоне? Что-то very small. Very small.
Pointer's research says it can emit an incredibly loud hiss when it feels threatened.
Не, стекло было в другом граммофоне.
They heard a loud noise around the time of the murder. Neither of them had any idea what it was.
This seems a little far-fetched. Is it really loud enough to knock someone out?
Может, он
I don't
ядовитый?
think so. Not by itself.
Они ж там
But don't
мутировавшие.
forget, it was being amplified by the shape of the gramophone. Now, I don't think we're purely talking about volume either. It might just be a particular type of frequency.
This is getting kinda scientific. Since when do you know anything about the effects of weaponized audio frequency?
I don't, but I think someone else does. Do you remember that statue we found in the music room? The hornet's playing. It's a pretty similar shape to the one on the gramophone. That broken glass isn't there on accident. This is someone's science experiment.
Thinking about it, Pointer said he saw Flora was knocked out too.
Блин, что-то крест звучит как наебалово какое-то. Получается, чтобы получая сумму была эквивалентна текущему балансу карты, что-то как-то не очень звучит. Пожалуйста, смотреть ссылку на убийство найди, это просто пиздец, реально.
I guess they were both in range of the noise, although Pointer might have been lying.
Personally, I think he was telling the truth about that. It's pretty clear a powerful frequency did pass through Flora's tower. Caused quite a bit of damage too.
На что повлияла мощная частота? На что она могла повлиять? На сам
Those
граммофон?
cracks didn't appear out of nowhere. Freya's paints, the pink cassette tape, and the gramophone itself, they all sustained similar damage while they were in that room.
That's some seriously powerful vibration, enough to crack metal, enough to knock someone out all the way across a room.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't get. If
Ну,
the
будет мем,
frequency
если
was
ее
so
случайно
powerful and
убили.
had such a big range, how did the murderer pull it off? Wouldn't they have been in range too? Think about it.
Наушники,
They can't have been much
значит.
further away from the gramophone than Flora was.
They protected themselves.
How?
These are some pretty heavy-duty earmuffs. I think they'd be enough to block out the sound.
Right. Let's go over everything from the start. 1. Freya is painting Flora's portrait. They're listening to music on the gramophone.
2. The murderer is hiding in the attic, wearing earmuffs.
3. The golden beetle starts to emit its hissing noise.
Hold on. How did it know?
The beetle?
Yeah, what triggered it at that particular moment? Pointer's research said it makes the noise when it feels threatened.
I'm not sure. Maybe something in the music?
Maybe.
4. Freya and Flora are both knocked unconscious by the vibrations. Freya lands on her back. She drops the brush and palette by her side.
5. The murderer fires the crossbow directly downwards.
Не, вряд ли это было случайное
Arrow is
убийство.
pulled back up on the reel.
7. The murderer leaves the attic, presumably.
8. The door is kicked down. Fitz and Poppy enter the room.
That's it. There's something bothering me.
What?
I just want to check something. Let's go back to the crime scene.
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
Plant. It's in the book.
What?
Look.
Вот это что ли?
It's dark.
I can see the stars. I can see the stars. I can see the stars.
It's dark.
Тебе кинул в ЛС красивый арт по игре. Хорошо, я посмотрю.
It's dark.
Так, не понимаю, куда нажимать.
It's dark.
The plant.
What?
Look.
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
I can see the stars. I can see the stars. I can see the stars.
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure
Ну вот
of it.
картина. Вот тут еще один есть цветок. Но его сейчас нету.
I can see the stars.
It's dark. It's dark. The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it. It's dark.
I can see the stars. I can see the stars.
Нажми на него на картине.
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure
Так
of
мне
it.
не дают тут нажимать. Мне не дают тут жмать.
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
Блять, куда конкретно нажать-то, елки-палки?
I can see the stars. I can see the stars. I can see the stars. I can see the stars.
It's dark. It's dark. It's dark.
Freya, did you leave us a clue?
А.
So what's bothering you?
Something that's not here. The thing we didn't find. We know she was holding it during the painting.
Flora's ink dip feather?
It was here. In this room. Where'd it go?
We found it somewhere else. We were a little too late to save it.
So it was stolen from the crime scene. And ended up in the incinerator down in the study.
Someone wanted to destroy it, I guess.
Что-то мне кажется, все-таки может
How was
быть
it stolen
двое
from up here in
людей
Flora's
связаны.
Presumably, Flora dropped it when she fell unconscious.
Блять, или это
and then
все-таки
what?
хок-шоу?
The murderer couldn't have stolen it if they were up in the attic.
So the question is, how could they steal something from a room they weren't able to access?
Птицы притащили перо.
The final clue about the crime scene. Freya left it for us right here. It's in the unfinished painting. It's not quite a photo, but still, it's an image of the crime scene recorded just before the murder. If only she'd finished it, then I could be totally sure.
It's true she never finished it, but she did intend to finish it.
Meaning?
We know more about the painting than what Freya actually got down on the canvas.
В чем проявился замысел Фрей насчет картины? В чем он мог проявиться? Замысел Фрея. Книгу с птицами показать?
That's not it.
Что, прям не то?
That's not it. Freya prepared all the colors she was going to need before she started painting. The yellow paint was added by the murderer, so
Ой,
almost.
какой мёдр-то?
The yellow paint was going to be used to paint the sketch of something sitting in the window.
Something in the window. Oh.
Короче, это либо Пенни, потому что она могла спиздить через птиц. Либо это Хокшоу, она могла внизу подобрать перо. Значит, это Пенни.
There she is, our little thief.
А, это птица. Это Пенни. Понятно, это Пенелопа.
She did. But she's a very good listener.
Здравствуйте, а хули вы тут забыли?
Well now, I think this has quite served its purpose, don't you?
Что? Это...
Penny.
я была максимально близка.
It's Penelope, if you don't mind. But before we begin, isn't there a certain formality demanding our attention?
Жесть, а как она так вообще это самое... Нам нужно что-то крепкое, чтобы связать ей руки.
Lovely. Now, tell me, what was it that drove you this far? I'm ever so curious.
Justice for Freya.
Is that right? Interesting.
Why did you do it, Penny? What did Freya do to you?
Absolutely nothing.
So, what? You just hated
Тарелка
her
пельмешей — это твой любимый персонаж?
Freya Fellow was an inspiration to us all. She was possessed of a great energy. The volition to create something from nothing. The willpower to walk beyond her boundaries. She was truly free. Everything I couldn't be.
You know what? I just realized I actually have
Блин,
no
Пенелопа могла
idea
бы и
who
Поппи так
Penelope Pointer really
захуярить,
is.
мне
Weird,
кажется.
isn't it? Considering we've met her, what is it, 3 times
Как
now?
она успевала так быстро
How do
переходить
we know this
из
one
одной
isn't a
локации в
disguise,
другую?
too?
Как она успевала-то?
You think you've already hollowed us out, don't you? Only a few short hours at Tangle Tower, and you feel like you've got everyone sussed. Unearthed every single one of our secrets. Nothing but bullet points for your notebook. Go on, indulge me. What does it say in your notes about Penelope Pointer? Suppose I can't argue with that, can I?
Penny, we only know what you choose to tell us, so why not help us out?
Very well. Penelope Pointer is actually not very important at all. She
В
pales in
смысле?
comparison to those who came before her and to those that came after.
Бля, вдруг она просто
Living at
убила
Tangle
Хокшоу.
Tower, it is very difficult to attain the levels of self-realization you probably take for granted.
You sure this is a Tangle Tower thing and not a you thing?
Perhaps you didn't notice. Not one of them is happy, not one.
So why stay? Why not just leave?
I thought she did leave. Penny, you said you traveled, didn't you?
I did. Many times I've walked away. It did not help me. You saw the family tree hanging in the grand hall, did you not?
Yeah, it lists a bunch of people who don't live here anymore.
A bunch of people who don't live here anymore. I couldn't have put it better myself.
Не
My
понимаю ее
mother, for
мотивацию
one,
вообще.
my father, too. The other two Remingtons, Poppy's mother, Primrose, and her brother Richard.
And Fitz's father.
That's 5. 5 people that might have lived here, but don't.
And that was the first question I wanted answered.
You wanted to know where they'd all gone?
More than that, I wanted to know if I belonged with them. I have no place here. Not among the Fellows, the Remingtons, or the Pointers. But I felt there must be a reason why everyone else left. Some common purpose they all shared. Perhaps it could be my purpose too.
So, what did you actually do about it?
Nothing I could do at first. Nobody would tell me anything. The more questions I asked, the fewer answers I got. Then I found it. I was 19. Same age Freya is now.
Found what?
The study. The one hidden in the middle of the house. It's right next to a bedroom.
I'd hear voices at night. Deep ones. And the strangest thing, the wall behind my bed would get incredibly hot. For hours on end.
Точно, у нее же кровать была очень теплая, стена.
Stay up. I thought I was cursed. I thought it was something trying to break through. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I found my way in the same way you did. Once you know it's there, it's simple.
So, you got into the study and found the incinerator. That must have been a relief, right?
It was still warm when I found it. Then, I looked inside. Let's see how thorough you've been. Tell me, do you know what a mistid is?
Mistid?
Мутировавшие животные? Наверно.
Mistids? Sure, yeah.
You're more observant than I thought.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
It's a collective term from before my time. Birds, insects, amphibians, anything living off the lake water. The mutation can take several generations, or it can happen overnight.
Wait, mistids, like cryptids, like Bigfoot or whatever.
A little egregious, isn't it? I suspect that was an intentional parallel. The main difference being mistids are perfectly real. They're just kept secret. Or at least, that was the original plan. As it happened, some got out. Quite a few got out.
How do you know all this?
When I entered the study at 19,
Может, послы как раз по миру шароёбятся, чтобы найти этих животных?
something which answered my questions while at once creating all new ones.
Что-то, что нашла Пенни в кабинете, что ответило на мучившие ее вопросы.
The 5 missing family members standing together as a single unit, calling themselves the ambassadors of Misted Mansion.
So, the house was renamed from Misted Mansion to Tangle Tower?
And rightly so. The age of Misted Mansion is long past. When I looked inside the incinerator on my first visit to the study, I found nothing but ash. The afterimage of a bygone era denied to me in its entirety. The study, the room at the bottom of the lake itself. All empty shells. I felt my only hope lay with the ambassadors. If I could find them, maybe they'd share the family history that Flora and the others were trying so hard to forget.
How did you track them down?
It was tough. They'd taken almost everything. Books, maps, charts, the creatures themselves, all
Почему они все сбежали из
taken
дома-то?
away or destroyed. But I got lucky. I got a lead. I found one, and he led me to the rest.
And what happened? Why'd you paint out all their faces?
They didn't help you either, did they?
19-year-old me had imagined they'd all left with a mission, a unified purpose. But they hadn't. They were, in fact, every bit as fractured as the people that still live here. Most of them had left tracking escaped mystics. Some claimed to be researchers, others little more than hunters. All 5 completely useless to me.
Even your own parents?
Eventually, I returned to Tangle Tower. I had nowhere else to go. I considered giving up. But instead, I made a decision. There was only one person at Tangle Tower still of interest to me. My dear Uncle Pointer had suddenly made a show of taking up astronomy. A fairly superficial charade. I don't think many people were fooled by it. But I knew it wasn't just a falsehood. It was a mask. Pointer had found something from the era of Misted Mansion.
Жука?
So where did he get the beetle?
I cannot be sure. But I theorize that he received it in the post.
In the post? From who?
Who can say? Someone outside Tangle Tower. But the thought that he would be in contact with such a person, all that time, I decided to take what was owed to me.
So you stole it.
Stealing the beetle turned out to be only the first step. Upon realizing it was gone, Pointer made little effort to disguise his frustration. I asked what was bothering him. He foresaw no risk in sharing a little of the truth with his niece. He told me he'd lost a rare treasure, something he'd been keeping safe. I suggested, innocently, that perhaps it was not lost. Perhaps it had been stolen. He was very ready to believe he'd been the victim of theft. When I offered to call in a private detective, he jumped on the idea. She arrived the next day. Hawkshaw prides herself on her punctuality, as you know.
Why, though? Why go through all that? The name, the costume, and everything?
It's somewhat sad to admit, but I had little use left for Penny Pointer as she was. Hawkshaw afforded me new advantages, opportunities.
But didn't you have to pretend to be working for Professor Pointer?
Well, that was one of the advantages. Pointer was in such a desperate state, he was finally willing to share some of his secrets. On the second day, Hawkshaw explained she needed to be able to search the secret laboratory. Pointer gave in and gave me the code for the harp statue. Reluctantly, but still.
So, you stole Pointer's research?
I would have done, if I'd found anything worth stealing. But he had made remarkably little progress, barely scratching the surface of the beetle's true mystery.
Which is?
It carries an exoskeleton approximately 90% identical to gold. But it's not the 90% I'm interested in. Did you ever question what exactly makes the water here so unique? Before Misted Mansion was built over the lake, before the lake was even a lake, Lord Remington and his wife built a small structure here, a research station, supposedly. Fast forward 2 or 3 generations, and as you saw for yourself, it's been mostly cleared out.
The ambassadors took everything when they left.
And everything they didn't take was burned in the incinerator. However, possessing additional insight, I found something the others had missed. It's not much, but I have what I need.
So, why isn't this the end of the story? Why did you stay? Why did you kill Freya?
Воля Фрей Фэллоу. Она хотела, чтобы ее убили? Или что?
Simply put, Freya was too good for me. It's my fault. I pushed her over the edge, unknowingly, but still, I take the blame.
What are you talking about?
Did you know I based the design for Hawkshaw on something Freya painted?
И поэтому она крышей поехала, что ее рисунок
That
ожил.
almost makes sense, but it's not right.
Что-то, что нарисовала Фрей, что Пенни использовала для создания хок-шоу.
That's right. I had assumed it was purely abstract. I just thought it had
Да,
good
реально
energy.
похоже на
I
хок-шоу.
later discovered it was a figure of some kind, something from Freya's recurring nightmare. For all her vitality, I think Freya was probably the most troubled of all of us. She was desperate to leave Tangle Tower, but she couldn't just walk away. For quite some time, she'd been trying to break into Pointer's laboratory. Freya and her friends were halfway through deciphering those symbols on the harp statue, I believe.
Why did she care about getting into Pointer's lab?
That's exactly what I wondered. At first, I thought perhaps she just wanted to free the Beatles. She has a fondness for them. What Pointer was doing upset her significantly. But in fact, I think it was something else. I think she wanted to free Fiona. The real reason Freya was unable to leave Tangle Tower is that she could not get Fiona to agree to come with her. We're now firmly in the realm of speculation, but I think Freya felt that exposing the darker secrets of Tangle Tower, not just to the rest of the family, but to the world, would compromise all three families, and perhaps, somehow, free Fiona from the shackles of her inheritance. That was her plan anyway, but something happened. Before Freya could find her way into Pointer's laboratory.
She found her way into your study, found your notes, found that photograph. I'm willing to bet she put it all together quicker than we did.
So she worked out what had happened to the 5 ambassadors. Specifically, what you'd done to them when they refused to help you.
Что, она их прям убила?
Freya had made a promise to paint Flora as a birthday gift, a parting gift no less. She'd be in a locked room, several hours away from her friends. It was my best chance.
But why hide in the attic? And why bother with the beetle at all?
The beetle in the gramophone wasn't for Freya. It was for Flora. She didn't deserve to be involved. She suffered enough. I couldn't get Flora out of her room, but if she could be unconscious, then she wouldn't have to witness anything.
Why the knife? The illusion of the painted knife with the blood.
That was for Fiona. And Poppy too, I suppose. Gave them something to focus on.
You mean it distracted them while you made your escape?
It helped them cope. The very idea of something abstract, something supernatural. I believe it made things marginally less painful for them, initially. Worked on you, too.
So why are you still here? Why not take your first chance and leave?
Well, I've been waiting for an opportunity to get my beetle back. I'd really rather not leave without it.
Wait, it's still here?
It's still inside the gramophone.
О, здравствуйте. Класс.
What's going on?
Poppy, they are both awake.
I can see.
You two all right?
My head hurts. What happened to us?
You were both unconscious. 14 minutes by my count.
Really?
Короче, Пенелопа
You're both
сбежала,
fine.
ясно.
No injuries.
Was it the beetle? In the gramophone? I heard it through the ceiling in my room.
The exact same sound we heard before the murder.
I guess it must have been.
So how did we get down here?
Потому
What
что
happened to
Пенелопа
Penny?
нас не
It
убила.
saved both of you, obviously.
When I reached Flora's tower, you were both unconscious, and Penny was crouched down beside you. She had her crossbow on her, but who knows? She may have just been
Да,
checking you were both
понятно.
asleep.
Просто проверяла,
Did you know
конечно.
that she was the murderer?
Poppy and Fifi suspected her. Apparently, they were pretty close to solving it themselves.
Fitz did
Блин.
not want to believe us because he liked Penny
Бедный Фиц, мне кажется, у него сердце просто разбито.
a lot.
But what happened? Fitz, what did she do when she saw you?
She jumped out the window.
What? Did she survive?
She did.
I heard something land in the garden outside my room, but by the time I got out there to check, she was already gone.
Hang on. Poppy, why do you have Penny's hat bird?
She left him behind. I found him sitting on the floor in the aviary.
Это все-таки птичка, а не шляпка.
Poor little thing. The mean lady didn't care about you at all, did she? No, she didn't.
I apologize. Poppy seems to be under the illusion that the bird can understand human language.
So, Penny got away.
I'm afraid she did.
We had suspected she might try to escape. I was stationed here by the lake's edge. I proved to be an ineffective guard. She took the boat.
Did she take the beetle with her?
Nope.
How do you know?
Because it's right here.
It was still in the gramophone. I guess I scared her off before she had a chance to take it.
Poppy, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it back to your father?
No, I'm not. It doesn't belong to anyone. So, I'm going to put it on the ground and never bother it again. I think that's what she would have wanted.
Все, это финал? Как-то остались вопросы. У меня остались некоторые вопросы к мотивации Пенелопы и почему озеро такое. И что за 10% из чего состоит жук? Причем игра-то давно вышла, насколько я знаю. Она вышла в 2019 году. Ну ладно, это не очень давно. Мне нужно продолжение. Мне... А будет вторая часть? Ой, жук съебался. Запутанная башня. Завершите игру. А я не все достижения, кстати, получила. Я не получил достижения «Послушай стихи Поппи», не поговорить с подозреваемым насчет путанной башни и поговорить с подозреваемым насчет вашего досье. Не всех доебалось досье. В них в руках был щит, который имел отношение к сюжету, но впоследствии был вырезан. Примроуз, Пандора Пойнтер, Бак Брекли, Ричард Ремингтон, Флинт Феллоу, Лорд Феллоу. Да, кстати, мы ни разу не видели кухню и ванну. У нас нет ни одной фразы от Флоры. Да, реально, у нас ни одной нет фразы. Флора действительно ни слова не сказала. Флора очень сас. Я видел Фрею прямодушной и немного хиппи. А Фрей, получается, еще и шизой, кукухой поехала из-за картины той. Как интересно вообще. Картина прикольная. Качельный дизайн напоминает высокую, похожую на кеглю, фигуру Флоры. А кто пел на этой кассете? Чей-то голос на кассете. Там несколько страничек у персонажа, да? Пение «Роковая женщина путанной башни». Пенни в конечном итоге стала любимицей фанатов. Да, мы заметили по тарелке пельмешей. Хок-шоу все больше походит на злодей из мультфильма 90-х. Очень прикольные иллюстрации. В чем мотивация Пенни была? Она хотела убить Флору, потому что та планировала раскрыть ее секреты. Я так поняла, Пенни убила чуваков этих. И Флора планировала раскрыть, насколько все плохо в башнях. И чтобы Фифи наконец-то покинула эти башни. Потому что она хотела уехать с Фифи. Вот они такие подружки. Как-то Феликс для меня не раскрытый персонаж. Немножечко. Мне кажется, ему как-то сюжетно уделили мало времени, а жаль, на самом деле. Блин, на самом деле мне понравилось. Мне очень понравилось. Меня прям затянула игра. И я бы хотела, чтобы выпустили они продолжение. Мне было бы очень интересно его посмотреть. Я бы с огромным удовольствием ознакомилась. Ну что ж, чат, большое спасибо за то, что вы со мной посидели и тоже со мной проходили эту замечательную игру. Надеюсь, этот стрим увидит человек, который донатил на Tangle Tower, за что ему большая благодарность. И мы можем наконец-то спустя 9 месяцев убрать эту игру из сбора. Она все-таки дождалась своего времени. Вот, а дальше, наверное, мы пойдем проходить. Я вот думаю, что мы пойдем дальше проходить. Crysis Core или что-то другое. Я очень хочу пойти проходить Crysis Core, но просто на нем очень мало народу. И меня это прям очень тревожит. Меня это очень расстраивает, потому что, не знаю, финалка очень интересная. ДМК 4 уже год. Вот да, я думаю, может быть, лучше все-таки с ДМК начать. И Evil Within. И с ДМК, потом Энигму, Evil Within и Crysis Core. Вот. Так ты же деньги собрала за финалку. Да, но вот лучше, наверное, ДМК все-таки, потому что он давно висит. И Байонету, в принципе, тоже можно добить. Мне кажется, там немного осталось. Можно как раз заняться теми, которые дольше всего висят в сборе. И про Дигроман мне писали. Ну, блин, что-то я не знаю, меня охота Дигроман проходить, просто пиздец. Я бы с удовольствием вернула деньги за Дигроман. Ну, короче, завтра тогда, наверное, пойдем в ДМК 4. Вот. Разберемся с ДМК. Если с Байонетой реально не так много осталось, то и добьем Байонету. У нее почти 2 стрима уже. Даже, по-моему, уже даже 2 стрима. Я жду Энигму. Да, вот я тоже очень хочу пройти Энигму, но на Энигму мало собрано. А, нет, хотя там на 2 стрима собрано, в принципе. Ну вот, да, ребят, на этой теме я с вами прощаюсь. Давайте я вам закину стрим к Скайчику. Давайте рейд к Скайчику. Он сейчас там будет играть свой ДБД ебаный. Вот. Спросите у Скайчика, пойдет ли он с нами как-нибудь в гусей. Вот это настоящая игра, а не эти ваши ДБД тупые. Вот, отправляю вас Скайчику. Всех люблю, всем пока-пока.